Hello everyone! Welcome to episode 67 of the video podcast, Me and My Dog and Some Yarn. Today is January 31st, 2016. It's a Sunday and I'm home by myself today. So I thought, what an excellent time to come in here and talk to you guys. My husband is at church. He had an event to go to. So I thought, this is the perfect time. I don't know why, but I get really self-conscious when he's here, even though I know he's not listening. He's usually piddling around out in the garage making some type of something out of wood, or he's watching TV, watching a football game, something like that. And so I know he's not listening, but yet at the same time, it makes me really self-conscious. So perfect time. So how have you guys been? I hope you guys have been doing great. I've been doing great. I've just been really busy. I meant to podcast last weekend and that didn't happen, but I'm here now and I have a lot to go over and a lot to show you. So I guess I'll get started. First, we have 2 new members to the group. That's our Ravelry group. The first one is my mother, and that is Lil Lambs Eat Ivy. Her name is Judy, and of course she lives here in Houston with me. She has been on Ravelry for a long time, but she doesn't get on there. She gets on Facebook, and she gets on email, and she texts, and things like that, but she just does not get on Ravelry. She does watch my podcast. She's been watching from the beginning, but I finally sat down with her and showed her all the wonderful things about Ravelry and how you can save patterns that you want to knit, and you can put your stash in there so you know what you've got and you don't have to go out and keep buying yarn and then end up with the same color and weight and, a bunch of them. So anyways, I sat down with her and showed her what to do, and she joined the Ravelry group. So you can go tell her hello and friend her if you want. We've also got Gwen, so you can welcome Gwen to the group, and Gwen's username is KnittingLady54, and she is from Arkansas. So welcome, Gwen, to the group. We're so happy to have you. So that's the new members. I do want to say that if you have subscribed to my blog and you're thinking that you'll get notifications that way when I do a podcast, I wish I could. I'm not posting to the blog anymore as far as the podcast goes, the video, because it won't let me. I don't know what's wrong. It won't let me link my YouTube video to WordPress. So if you want notification about a brand new podcast that's been updated or uploaded, go to YouTube and become a subscriber to the channel, and that is how you'll be able to get the updates of the podcast, for now anyways. The blog will still be there. I will still update that with projects, maybe tutorials and things like that, but there won't be a feed for the podcast itself. Okay, so I wanted to let everybody know that. And the toy along, I still have one winner who has not claimed a prize, and so I will give you till the I guess until let's just say till the end of February. If you haven't contacted me by the end of February, I will pull another, draw another name from the people who entered the toy along. So if you entered the toy along and you have not watched episode 66, you need to go do that because you might have won a prize. And that prize is a skein of yarn from Heidi, who is Undead Yarn. So go check that out because that is an excellent prize, and you would be so mad at yourself if you passed up winning a skein of Undead Yarn. I mean, I would be very upset. So go check that out. Sorry, I have sinuses this morning, and that is why I sound so nasally. Sorry. So the next knit along I'm so excited about. It's called Knit Your Bits Knit Along, and I'm going to Dallas Fort Worth for the DFW Fiber Fest in April, and they're collecting scarves for Knit Your Bits, which is an organization that donates scarves to veterans. And I thought that is an excellent idea. It's a way I can show my support to a veteran. So I have knitted a scarf. I'll show that to you in a little bit, and I'm probably going to knit maybe one or two more before I go. And I'd like to welcome you and ask you to join me in knitting a scarf for a veteran. And so I thought, well, I'll just put a knit along together, or crochet along. It's a cow. So you can knit, you can crochet, or if you want to weave, you can weave a scarf. That would be perfectly fine. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is it goes on now until March 20th. And at March 20th, I will close the thread, and there will be prizes, although I know for veteran, you don't really need a prize for that because it makes you happy to just donate something like that. But I'm going to give you a prize, or one or two winners a prize if you'll join me. And once you have it knitted and you've posted your picture, you can email me and I will, or message me through Ravelry, and I will send you my address and you can mail the scarf to me. Please have your scarves in the mail, because I have to take them with me to donate them. So please, please, please have your scarves to me by March 31st. There's just a few rules set by Knit Your Bits, and that is to choose a neutral color for your scarf. Most of these scarves will go to men. They ask that you don't use any novelty or fun fur, and that it just be a neutral color. Also, after you've knitted or crocheted or weaved your scarf, put a little tag on there. It should have your first name, your last initial, your city and state where you live, and care instructions. So you especially want to do that if you're knitting with 100% wool or something like that that can't just be thrown in the washer. I'm going to use acrylic because men aren't very careful with washing things, at least in my experience. So that might be a good idea to knit with superwash or acrylic, something that can be washed and dried, just in case it accidentally gets washed in a way that it shouldn't. So anyways, there's more information on the in the group, the Me and My Dog and Some Yarn podcast group on Ravelry, and I do want to show you a picture that I posted in that thread. I just love this picture. This is a picture of my husband's father, who was in the white t-shirt. That was my father-in-law, and then his brother sitting right next to him. That's Uncle Bob, and they were in World War II together. One was in the Army, one was in the Marines, and no, I'm sorry, the Air Force. Uncle Bob was in the Air Force, Dad was in the Army, and they were both deployed, and they didn't really know where the other one was. And they ended up being in Okinawa at the same time, and they got to meet up, just word of mouth. And so that was a picture of them meeting up over there. And I just think that is so special, and I absolutely love that photo. So anyways, that is the Knit Your Bits cow, and please come join me for that. And what else? I guess that's all of the announcements. So let's get started with what I'm knitting and what I'm working on. The first thing I'm knitting and working on is a shawl pattern, and the shawl pattern is called Loop, and there it is right there. I love this pattern. I chose it for the rainbow along that Suburban Stitcher Diane is doing in her podcast group. If you're not familiar with Suburban Stitcher Diane, please go check her out. She is a fellow Houstonian and a fellow Texan, and she always has wonderful patterns and things like that she's working on. So go check her out and go check out her knit along. And so this is my loop shawl, and it is knit out of 2 yarns, Orange Flower, and it is this lovely blue. It's just like a blue sky blue is what I think of. And the colorway is Lake, and it's Mira is the what's it called? Base? Yeah. It is 70% superwash British Blueface Leicester, 20% silk, and 10% cashmere, and it is super soft. It's awesome. I love this. And then I am knitting the rainbow colors, the little stripes, out of Miss Babs' Yummy 2-ply toes. And that is in the, what was the colorway? Let me see. Oh yeah, Perfectly Reckless. And that's Miss Babs' Yummy 2-ply toes, and it is in the Perfectly Reckless colorway, and I absolutely love this. So cute, and I've done pretty good. The pattern, I won't give away any of the details, but the pattern says to carry up the rainbow yarn up the side. I didn't like how it looked. And I didn't like that it didn't match the other side, because you would only be carrying it up one side, right? So I just decided to clip my rainbow yarn and just carry the blue up the side, because the blue is only for 2 rows and it doesn't show. So I have done that. I've clipped it and weaved it in already, because I can't stand to be knitting on a project and have all kinds of tails hanging. So I usually do that. So anyways, I absolutely love this. I'm going to have to try to finish it by the end of the rainbow along. And hopefully we'll get some cooler weather here. It has been hot. Oh my goodness. I had to go turn on the air a while ago. We've had the heater on. The last few days, it's gotten into the low 70s, and it's been kind of windy, so we just haven't been running anything, but it was still set to heat a while ago, and I had to go and flip it over to air because I was starting to sweat. And it's January. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. So I hope I get to wear this year. I don't know. It's not looking pretty good for me right now. So anyways, that is one thing I'm working on. I wanted to show you, this was the yarn that I bought for that. It's purple. It's like a violet purple. I know it's not showing up correctly. But anyways, this I'm going to have to make into something else. I do love it. I just didn't want it for the rainbow along shawl. The loop. So that's one thing I've been working on. The second thing, there we go. Second thing is the socks for my husband. I have started and stopped these socks 3 times because once I get to a certain point, I don't like the pattern. I started it from toe up, from toe up, and then I remembered he does not like the bind off. He really, really likes the German twisted cast on around the legs. So then I thought, well, I'll knit it from top down. So I ripped it out then. Okay, so I have gotten 8 inches, and it looks great. I'm just using a texture. I'm making like a vanilla sock with a texture, but it doesn't seem very stretchy to me. And he does have thin legs. He's tall and lanky, so maybe I'm gonna have to go. I decided just to stop because I'm at the point where I start to do the heel flap, and I don't want to go any further until I know that this is gonna fit him. But it just doesn't seem like it's stretching. I don't know if I'm knitting tight. It's the same stitch count and needle size that I normally use, but maybe it's just making it tighter with this texture. It's a series of slip stitches. I don't know, something with these socks. I absolutely love the yarn. It's got buffalo in it, and I think it's Knitting Fairy is the name of the yarn. I got it. It's on my project page, and I got it at in Borney at the Fiber Festival 2 years ago. And the lady told me that it washes up even softer than what it is. And I know he will absolutely love them, but I just think they might be too tight. If I have to rip these out and start them again, I don't know. I don't know. Speaking of my husband, I did find the pattern, you guys. I did find the pattern for his cardigan. So I need to order his yarn, and then I can start that. That will probably be started, I don't know, a month or so from now. I don't know. I've got a lot of things going on right here, right now, so just kind of want to wait on that. I am doing the winter camp. I think I've told you guys about that. So I have some projects that I cast on and finished, and one is my scarf for my veteran, and it is made out of some chunky yarn. It is made out of Woolies Thick and Quick, and it is Gray Marble is the colorway. And it took two of these skeins, and I just used the whole entire skein because I wanted to use as much as I could, and I wanted it to be really long, and it is super long, so he can wrap it around a few times. I say he, it could be a she, but I really love it. It's really pretty. It's gray. And I used a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's just a series of knits and purls. And you can go check that out on my project page if you want to. But this one is done, and it qualifies for my winter camp. I'm on Team Panda, and I have to get these photographed and uploaded today. I've just been procrastinating too much. Then, I don't know if I showed you guys these or not. I knit the eyelet cap. Oh yeah, I think I did. I showed you this one already. This one is for my friend Maureen, who is my walking buddy who lives across the street. I showed you that already. That's going for the camp, and then I finished the sock head hat. And this one is for my sister. And I forgot the yarn for this. I have more of it. So, yeah. It's blue and purple and green. And it's just really pretty. This is going to be for my sister. I have about a half a skein left, and so I'm going to cast on some knits come February for her, because January is hats for that winter camp, and then I think February is mitts or things for the hand, so I'll get extra points if I do it that way. So those are my finished objects. I didn't bring over a vintage book again. I am so bad. I have not done that since probably November. I am so bad. I apologize. I will try to have one for you next time. I will show you a few things that I've got. I haven't been spending any money on yarn because I'm trying to hoard my money for DFW Fiber Fest, which is in April, and we also have the Houston Fiber Fest, which will be the second annual one, and that will be, I think, in June. I have to look. And then I'm hoping Stitches. I think there might be a Stitches towards the end of the summer. And yeah, so I'm trying to hoard my money for those things, my yarn money. So I haven't really bought anything, but I did get my Desert Vista Dye Works yarn in the mail, and it's the free skein of yarn that I got for doing the 12 the whole year of the official, unofficial Desert Vista Dye Works socks knit along or crochet along. I don't know. I guess it was just, I don't know, knitting, crocheting. I knit 12 pairs of socks last year, and I knit one each month, and I finished within the deadline, and so I won a free skein of yarn, and it is gorgeous. It's still in the wrapper. It came just a few days ago. It's actually prettier in person than it's showing up. But it's blues and pink and yellow and green. It's just beautiful. And then this skein right here, I don't know if you can tell, but it's white and gold and silver. And it is so pretty. It's the exclusive 2015 colorway. And that's only way to get this was if you participated and you made all 12 months. And I'm so excited I did that. I am not doing it this year just because I wanted to concentrate on other things besides socks. My life is so busy that last year I was just knitting socks constantly. And I kind of wanted a break because I want to do some hats. I'd like to do a sweater for myself. I'm not really setting any particular goals. I don't want to be disappointed if I don't meet those goals, but I just wanted to try knitting some different patterns. So I will still have a pair of socks on the needles, I'm sure, because I do love knitting socks. I enjoy it. To me, they're relaxing because you don't have to think a lot. They're great for watching TV as long as they don't have a detailed pattern. So I will be knitting socks again. It's just I'm not going to be knitting them every month with the deadline. Her yarn is fantastic. If you have some Desert Vista Dye Work yarn, it's a little late now to join 2016 because today is January 31st and you have to have one for each month. But definitely consider it for next year. So let's see. I haven't bought anything, but I contacted a fellow Ravelry person. Her name is Kathy, and Kathy and I decided to switch minis. She's knitting on a blanket, and I'm knitting on a blanket, so we swapped. I sent her a package with yarn and tea, and it's so funny because she mailed her package the same time I did, and she sent yarn and tea. So here's some of the tea that she sent me, and I'm mostly a coffee drinker, but I'm trying to drink more tea, so these will be fun to try. So I'm excited about that. But she sent me some beautiful mini skeins. And I've got this one. I think they'll show up better if I hold them away from the camera. And I haven't broken into these and knit with them yet because I wanted to show you guys. They are so pretty. I love this one. Red, white, and blue. I absolutely love red, white, and blue. a pink and a white, and that's got a really pretty shine to it. And blue. I think we decided to swap 12. This is a brown. That's really pretty. Vince would have loved those in socks. He's very particular. He doesn't like lots of color in his sock. He likes some kind of plain. Nothing wild for him. This is pretty. It's pink and purple. So those are my minis. And oh yeah, I did start one other project. I fell off the wagon and started yet another scrap blanket. As you guys know, I'm doing the Beekeeper, the Beekeeper quilt by Tiny Owl Knits, and then I'm doing a scrap crocheted granny square blanket, and now I'm on my third one, which is the mitered square blanket. And this is in my Suburban Stitcher bag. And yeah, I'm knitting. Ta-da! I had to, guys. I've been wanting to do this one for a while, and my mom saw little bobbins, and she's like, oh, that's so pretty, and I'm like, it is, and she said, I want to start one, and I thought, I'll start one with you. So I've got 3 going now. Anyways, I guess that's it. I just heard my husband walk in the door, so I'm going to go tell him hello and start some pizza. We're having pizza tonight. And, oh, I am going to have a shop update pretty soon, and I've got some Valentine bags. I've got a bag that is going to be donated for the winter camp, and I can make one of those if you want. I don't have any made right now, but I have fabric enough for one more, but I've got this one, and, of course, they're drawstring, and they have a handle with a snap. And so I've got 2 of these, and I will have 2 of these as well. So a total of 4 bags going in the shop. Love that. I hope to have them in the shop tonight, which is Sunday, but it might be Monday or Tuesday, but they are completely made. They are completely finished. So when you place your order, they will go out the next day if it's a working business day. If you order on Saturday, you'll have to wait till Monday before I can ship it. So I do have stitch markers coming up in the shop too, and I am in love with the stitch markers, and I have been making stitch markers like crazy. Actually, I do have a few I can show you real quick. They're already bagged up. I do need to take pictures. I've got this kind that are just circular with the bead. And these are my favorite to knit with because they don't catch on anything. And then I've got place markers. I've got little Eiffel Tower. And I have been playing with clay, polymer clay, and I have made a macaroon to go with the bags. I think I'm going to sell them separate, but they have the lobster claw, and they are just so cute. They match the bag perfectly. The little macaroons. So cute. So, hopefully these will be up in the shop too within the next day or 2. So, anyways, I guess that's it. I'm going to go start my pizza now. Say hello to the hubby. And, yeah, get back to my knitting. So I will talk to you guys hopefully next week. You guys have an awesome week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 67 of the video podcast, Me and My Dog and Some Yarn. Today is January 31st, 2016. It's a Sunday, and I'm home by myself today. So I thought, what an excellent time to come in here and talk to you guys. My husband is at church. He had an event to go to. So I thought, this is the perfect time. I don't know why, but I get really self-conscious when he's here, even though I know he's not listening. He's usually piddling around out in the garage making some type of something out of wood, or he's watching TV, watching a football game, something like that. And so I know he's not listening, but yet at the same time, it makes me really self-conscious. So perfect time. So how have you guys been? I hope you guys have been doing great. I've been doing great. I've just been really busy. I meant to podcast last weekend and that didn't happen, but I'm here now and I have a lot to go over and a lot to show you. So I guess I'll get started. First, we have 2 new members to the group. That's our Ravelry group. The first one is my mother, and that is Lil Lambs Eat Ivy. Her name is Judy, and of course she lives here in Houston with me. She has been on Ravelry for a long time, but she doesn't get on there. She gets on Facebook, and she gets on email, and she texts, and things like that, but she just does not get on Ravelry. She does watch along together, or crochet along. It's a cow. So you can knit, you can crochet, or if you want to weave, you can weave a scarf. That would be perfectly fine. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is it goes on now until March 20th. And at March 20th, I will close the thread, and there will be prizes, although I know for veteran, you don't really need a prize for that because it makes you happy to just donate something like that. But I'm going to give you a prize, or 1 or 2 winners a prize if you'll join me. And once you have it knitted and you've posted your picture, you can email me and I will, or message me through Ravelry, and I will send you my address and you can mail the scarf to me. Please have your scarves in the mail, because I have to take them with me to donate them. So please, please, please have your scarves to me by March 31st. There's just a few rules set by Knit Your Bits, and that is to choose a neutral color for your scarf. Most of these scarves will go to men. They ask that you don't use any novelty or fun fur, and that it just be a neutral color. Also, after you've knitted or crocheted or weaved your scarf, put a little tag on there. It should have your first name, your last initial, your city and state where you live, and care instructions. So you especially want to do that if you're knitting with 100% wool or something like that. My podcast, she's been watching from the beginning, but I finally sat down with her and showed her all the wonderful things about Ravelry and how you can save patterns that you want to knit, and you can put your stash in there so you know what you've got and you don't have to go out and keep buying yarn and then end up with the same color and weight and, a bunch of them. So anyways, I sat down with her and showed her what to do, and she joined the Ravelry group. So you can go tell her hello and friend her if you want. We've also got Gwen, so you can welcome Gwen to the group, and Gwen's username is KnittingLady54, and she is from Arkansas. So welcome, Gwen, to the group. We're so happy to have you. So that's the new members. I do want to say that if you have subscribed to my blog and you're thinking that you'll get notifications that way when I do a podcast, I wish I could. I'm not posting to the blog anymore as far as the podcast goes, the video, because it won't let me. I don't know what's wrong. It won't let me link my YouTube video to WordPress. So if you want notification about a brand new podcast that's been updated or uploaded, go to YouTube and become a subscriber to the channel, and that is how you'll be able to get the updates of the podcast. For now anyways. The blog will still be there. I will still update that with projects, maybe tutorials and things like that, but there won't be a feed for the podcast itself. Okay, so I wanted to let everybody know that. And the toy along, I still have one winner who has not claimed a prize, and so I will give you till the I guess until let's just say till the end of February. If you haven't contacted me by the end of February, I will pull another draw another name from the people who entered the toy along. So if you entered the toy along and you have not watched episode 66, you need to go do that because you might have won a prize. And that prize is a skein of yarn from Heidi, who is Undead Yarn. So go check that out because that is an excellent prize, and you would be so mad at yourself if you passed up winning a skein of Undead Yarn. I mean, I would be very upset. So go check that out. Sorry, I have sinuses this morning, and that is why I sound so nasally. Sorry. So the next knit along I'm so excited about. It's called Knit Your Bits Knit Along, and I'm going to Dallas Fort Worth for the DFW Fiber Fest in April, and they're collecting scarves for Knit Your Bits, which is an organization that donates scarves to veterans. And I thought that is an excellent idea. It's a way I can show my support to a veteran. So I have knitted a scarf. I'll show that to you in a little bit, and I'm probably going to knit maybe one or two more before I go. And I'd like to welcome you and ask you to join me in knitting a scarf for a veteran. And so I thought, well, I'll just put a knit along. It can't just be thrown in the washer. I'm going to use acrylic because men aren't very careful with washing things, at least in my experience. So that might be a good idea to knit with superwash or acrylic, something that can be washed and dried just in case it accidentally gets washed in a way that it shouldn't. So anyways, there's more information on the in the group, the Me and My Dog and Some Yarn podcast group on Ravelry, and I do want to show you a picture that I posted in that thread. I just love this picture. This is a picture of my husband's father, who was in the white t-shirt. That's that was my father-in-law, and then his brother sitting right next to him. That's Uncle Bob, and they were in World War II together. One was in the Army, one was in the Marines, and no, I'm sorry, the Air Force. Uncle Bob was in the Air Force, Dad was in the Army, and they were both deployed, and they didn't really know where the other one was. And they ended up being in Okinawa at the same time, and they got to meet up, just word of mouth. And so that was a picture of them meeting up over there, and I just think that is so special, and I absolutely love that photo. So anyways, that is the Knit Your Bits